And what's up, everybody? This is Terminator Juice, and welcome to Volume 1 of Juice Opinions. I'm going to try to do these weekly, depending on if there's anything on my mind that week, but I'll at least do 2 a month at the very least, but potentially every week. So I've been wanting to do this for a couple weeks now. It's basically going to replace my rant, quote unquote, rant videos and um, standalone, like random juice videos. So this is going to be the new format for my solo videos. And yeah, I'll pick a couple topics that I want to focus on, and then maybe something, um, maybe a third thing. So first and foremost, the PS4 Pro launches next week, I believe. I think it's the 11th or something. And I have to ask anyone watching this video as of right now, what does the PS4 Pro do? How does it benefit you? And what's the benefit to buying that over the PlayStation 4 regular if you have a 1080p TV? That's the question I've been asking since the thing was revealed, and Sony still has just not answered that question. Really, the only thing they ever say is this is for 4K television, 4K monitors. Digital Foundry finally did an unboxing. I got to wait for them to do all this comparisons and all this tech stuff to figure out what the hell this thing does for 1080p TVs. And it's just baffling to me. How can the messaging be so bad and this thing's a week away or less than a week from coming out? And I, as somebody who's been just waiting for that answer, hey, this is what it does if you have a 1080p TV. And okay, that's worth $100 extra or whatever to play Horizon. Getting nothing. Digital Foundry went in. They talked to Mark Cerny, and they keep talking about how this is not a new generation. The graphics card, the GPU is basically two PS4 GPUs put together, and he said something about turns one off if it's just in standard mode, or I don't even know what the hell that meant. But I guess the pretty much what people have been saying is this isn't a 60 frames per second, 1080p 60 frames per second machine. Like Guerrilla Games said that their graphics engine wasn't even built with 60 frames per second in mind. So it's just 30 frames per second, and then it bumps up to 4K. And then what Digital Foundry said, which no one else is saying, Sony hasn't said, is you get what's called super sampling. Basically, it downscales it, and you just get a really clean, like, it's like the best anti-aliasing, there ever was, because this GPU is meant to do 4K. Well, then it down scales it to 1080p, and then I guess you get like no jaggies, and it's a really clean image, but you're not getting frame rate benefits. You're not getting texture benefits. It's just some jaggy removal. So it's kind of unbelievable that this thing's coming out in a week and they still haven't really let people know what the benefit is. And our developers, it sounds to me like they're not really being pushed to utilize it. So like I said, Digital Foundry is going to do a bunch of comparisons. You got Rise of the Tomb Raider has an unlocked or open frame rate option, I guess, but we'll have to see. I was really kind of hoping that it'd be 60 frames per second would be just obtainable for, like, let's say Uncharted 4. You get the same visuals, but 60 frames per second. Nope. Instead, they're going to keep it at 30, and they're going to do 4K and try to make it look even better. And it's just like, why? The gamers are been waiting for 60 frames per second. Not Nintendo fans, because most games are, but just been waiting for 60 frames per second 1080p still this generation, and it hasn't happened. And now they're just jumping to 4K 30 frames over. It just doesn't make any sense, and I just can't believe that as a consumer, I can't just easily find the answer to that, and I got to wait for a YouTube channel to do all this tech analysts to find out what the benefits are, if any, with the PS4 Pro hooked up to a 1080p monitor. Now, if you have a 4K monitor, I guess the results are pretty impressive. You know, it's a nice and clean 4K looking image, even though it's upscaled in most cases. But it's just baffling to me that, like, if the Nintendo Switch or Nintendo was releasing something and it's like, well, what's the benefit here? And, you know, you could kind of say the new 3DS, they just said it's faster processor, a little bit more RAM or whatever, and they had an exclusive game, and Nintendo didn't really go all out with, you know, this is the benefit here and there. It was just like, they showed how quickly like Smash boots up in comparison, and, you know, to me, like, that's just increasing the user experience. And then it turns out like games like Hyrule Warriors and stuff run way better on the new 3DS. So it was similar, but it was a little more obvious. I didn't have to really, I just knew as soon as like the first or second video revealed, and I knew that it was just going to be quicker with the operating system. Miiverse, everything was going to load quicker. And that was pretty much what you're getting, plus the benefits of the C-Stick, the better 3D and all that. So to me, like, I'm looking over the PlayStation lineup. I'm still just like, I know I want to play Horizon, so I'm like, what else is there? And what version of the PS4 would I get? And like, if I saw like, if Horizon was going to run at 60 frames in 1080p on the PS4 Pro, I would buy that in a heartbeat for the $100. But to get the like reduction of jaggies, as seems to be like the biggest benefit, I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Plus, I find no other games I'm interested in. So it's just one of those things. But yeah, so that's going to be it for the PlayStation 4 Pro. My next thing is the Amazon Fire HD tablets. Now they've been Amazon's been going all in trying to promote these things. OJ in his videos, he's always talking about it. I picked one up, and I'm gonna give you guys my impressions of it in the few hours that I had it. The $90 version, I got the 16 gig. It's a 720p screen, 8-inch tablet. $90 looked like, what the hell? What, you know, that's a throwaway thing if it breaks or whatever. I thought it'd be worth a shot. So I get the thing, and I had a standard Google-based Asus or Zeus, however you say it, tablet. It only had 1 gig of RAM. It was getting a little long in the tooth. It had some problems, so I wanted to upgrade. I get this Fire HD tablet. And first thing you do when you wake it up, first thing you notice, it's filled with ads. Every time you wake it up, there's an ad on your screen. No background image. And then when you got your home screen, and you swipe to the right, and you got Amazon Video. You swipe to the right, you got Amazon Books or whatever, Kindle. Swipe to the right, you got Amazon Music. Swipe to the right, you got Amazon Store. Swipe to the right, and you finally got your like app screen, Amazon Apps, and that's it. And when you go to the home screen, you can scroll up and down, and you can't get rid of any icons. There's a screen and a half full of Amazon apps and Amazon promotion. You can't get rid of a single one. You can move the apps you download, you can move them up top, but you can't get rid of all the nonsense. You can't clean up the screen, and doesn't support Google Hangouts, Instagram, Chrome, and Google Plus was pretty shitty. YouTube plays at sub 480 resolution. There's no option to go higher quality. If you go to the browser, which it's some generic Amazon browser, 60 frames per second videos don't work. And here's the kicker: the ads that when you wake the thing up, there's a nice helpful link to tell you how to turn those off. So you go to your account settings, go to your device, and click it, and then a screen pops up for a split second and goes away, and nope, they're gone. So I was like, cool, there's one customization thing. And then I created a wallpaper for, I don't think you could customize that one. It was just some standard thing. But I was like, you know what, this thing's a piece of junk. For $90, I called Amazon. I said, is there any restock fee? I barely use this thing. Nope, no problem. Send me a return label. Boxed it back up. taped the return label. As soon as it scanned the return label, they gave me the credit. So that was cool. Come a couple days later, I checked my bank account and there's a $15.90 charge on there from Kindle something or other. I'm like, what the hell is this? I got my credit for my 90 some plus tax. It was $98 or whatever it was. And so I go to my Amazon and I have in my orders, I don't have anything, but when I go to ask a question, it's a question about an order, and then it pops up this opting out ads, blah, 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 $15 charge. So when you turn off those ads, it charges you $15 and doesn't even tell you, and just charges your account. And plus tax, they tax that. They tax a thing that they shouldn't be charging you for. You don't want ads on the tablet you buy. When you wake it up, they charge you $15 plus tax for that. And I was about to just be done with Amazon for good because I don't care. It's only 15. It was $15.90. I don't care. It's almost only $16. When a company just robs money from you for nothing, for no reason, and then come to find out, like the way I understood it, you're paying $90 for a tablet that's, $105 tablet. You're paying the 90 because you're basically accepting ads every time you wake the thing up. Every single time you hit the button to wake the screen, you have an ad on your screen for a Kindle book or something on sale on Amazon. And, if you like that kind of stuff, if you want zero customization and, you love Amazon, you just basically, the tablet is Amazon's website. That's basically all it is. The browser was pretty terrible. Like I said, the apps, it had Twitter was the only main one that it had. But just charging you money for just to take ads off and not even telling you, and just, if I didn't check my bank account, sometimes I just pay my bill. But I actually looked into the details, description of what was on there, make sure my credit and everything went through, and those dirty bastards. So they gave me credit right away. Otherwise, I would have told them I'm done as a customer over this $15 bullshit charge. So the thing, and the build quality of things is junk. It feels like a toy. It feels like the back could just fall off at any time. Screen resolution's terrible. And so my suggestion for anybody looking for a tablet, I bought this Asus ZenPad 8-inch 2K resolution screen. So it's like 3 times the resolution. Android based, plays everything amazing for $70 more. This tablet is 4 times the quality and 4 times the user friendliness for not even double the price. Like $70 on top of the 90. And if you don't want ads, then it's only $55 more or whatever. Yeah, $55 more if you don't want ads on your tablet every time you wake it up. So, like, what a bad experience. I'm glad I got every cent of my money back. It didn't cost me anything to send it back, but what a piece of shit. What a piece of garbage. So I'm sorry, OJ. He said he likes the thing. It's an absolute piece of junk. It's one of the worst pieces of technology I've ever held in my hand. It's just garbage. And I would have kept it if it had the apps I wanted and YouTube played fine. I probably still would have kept it just because the hassle of returning it. I would have once I found out they charged me that extra money, I would have been done with it. So just a word to the wise: if you're looking for a tablet, spend a little extra. That ZenPad, the Asus one, is just amazing. Like I said, it's got a 2K resolution, 1440p. For those that don't know, it sounds like it's only doubled 720, but it's light years beyond the Amazon one. So yeah. And then the last thing I want to talk about, and Ms. T just released a video today that I've been saying this to myself since the Nintendo Switch was revealed. And it's just one of those things. I didn't really even want to get into it because I just don't understand the people that are excited about the Nintendo Switch, and part of their excitement has to do with the fact that the trailer didn't have any kids in it. And I'm just like, who cares? Like, what the fuck does that matter? Like, do you like to play video games? You a Nintendo fan? Do you like what the Switch is? Like, it didn't even register with me that there wasn't kids in there. I think it was brought up on the podcast, like Ms. T said, as an observation, and that was it. Like, I've heard so many people say how excited they are that there's no kids. I'm like, why? What different? Like the Splatoon, it's the same people probably that thought the Splatoon ads were so wrong. Oh my God, Nintendo, you don't know what you're doing. Why are you advertising to kids? Like, what does it matter? You're going to buy the game. And there was obviously different ads. One was generally towards the youngest kids for Splatoon, but that game's played by anybody. Like, and then the Switch trailer has a 3D Mario game and Mario Kart and a cartoony cell shaded looking Zelda game. And you're still what? You think Nintendo has changed all of a sudden? But even if they have, like, what difference does it make to you as a consumer who buys video games and plays them that there wasn't kids in this ad, in the trailer? Like, are you ashamed? Is it not manly enough to root for a system if there was kids in the ad? Like, and the people in the ads weren't like, I mean, the age range was probably 20, early 20s, late teens to maybe 30. I mean, most people I know are 35 to 40, you know? So anyway, it doesn't compute. It makes no difference to me who's in the ad. I don't care if it was all women. I don't care if it's all 10-year-olds. Like, because I'm looking at the device, I'm looking at the games. I don't care who they're advertising to. And it really speaks volumes if that fact that there was no kids makes you more excited about the Nintendo Switch. You can say, "Oh, well, I just see Nintendo's, maybe they're learning and, you know, they can sell more systems and be a little more popular and compete with the PS4 and Xbox One." Like, who cares? If you buy the system and you like it and there's games that you like, does it matter to you if Nintendo sells 100 million or 20 million? Like, they're still going to support this thing. They supported the Wii U up until this last 6 months. Obviously, that's one thing. But to just be that excited because there's no kids in the ad, and then the games were a 3D Mario game, Splatoon, Mario Kart, and Zelda, like a non-realistic looking Zelda. Nintendo's still going to be the same Nintendo. They're still going to make games for everybody. They're still going to do YouTube ads because, you know, TV ads. Maybe if they did TV ads, I mean, it could help them sales-wise, but that doesn't matter to me. Other than, like I said, I don't want the Switch to be dead in 3 years like the Wii U, but I don't think just not having kids in your ad, I don't think that's the reason it's going to be successful. It's going to be successful because the market, they're combining two markets, and if they fill it with a bunch of games from the handheld and console divisions can just pump out these games and third parties are on board, that's going to have the biggest factor. Like, I just don't get this. Like, if you're a Nintendo fan, if you're like, let's say you're 25 to 35 to 40, whatever, if you're ashamed to play Nintendo games because it's too kiddie or or they advertise or they make games that appeal to both kids and adults, if you're ashamed, then you got some real issues. You got some issues beyond just gaming. Like, I mean, it's not like you're walking around with a freaking teddy bear or something. It's video games. It's the PlayStation 4. I don't care how mature and they use live action for every freaking commercial. It's still a video game. You're still getting on there with kids to adults, mature, immature people. Everybody's playing games and enjoying it. There's so many different types of people. It just doesn't matter to me. So I don't understand this. Ms. T, you know, he said it pretty well, but I don't know. I'm kind of speechless. I've been trying to find a way to. I was gonna get it into the podcast, and I'm just like, I didn't know where if I really wanted to bring it up or if anybody else was feeling like me. But if you saw that and you saw no kids and that made you excited, please try to explain to me why. As a consumer, even as a fan, like who cares? Like that's all I have to say. But anyway, look for more juice opinions. We'll see how this one goes, and maybe I'll have some Q&A or something. I don't have the live chat up, so this is kind of a first go at it, kind of an experiment. We'll see. But yeah, if you guys, what are your thoughts on the PS4 Pro? Do you have any idea what this thing is going to do? What's the benefit? What's that extra $100 get you if you have a 1080p TV and you're going to still have a 1080p TV for years to come? Have you bought the Fire HD tablet? What do you think of it? Am I way off? Do you disagree, agree? And then the Nintendo Switch ad, the trailer with no kids, does that mean anything to you and why? Because I just facepalm every time I think about it. It matters so little to, I mean, it's just matters nothing to me. Like that ad could have been, it doesn't make sense to have kids in there when you have a portable and a home console like that. It just wouldn't have worked as well. And it's like, oh, mom and dad want to take me somewhere, I got to take the Switch. They still could have made an ad around that, but I just think it was more about just showing the device. And it's like I couldn't relate to any of the people they showed. I'm not playing basketball. I'm not getting in a van heading to go-karts. I'm not dog not barking to have me go out, and like none of the ads spoke to me at all. From if you just look at the people they were showing, I don't care about esports, none of that. So I'm still excited about the system. I still like the trailer, and they didn't address me at all. So I don't understand why it matters that they didn't address kids either. So that's it. I'm done rambling, and we'll be back on Monday for the Juice Loose podcast, and we'll talk about some things there. And then maybe next week I'll be back for another Juice Opinion. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.